One key issue that not only impacts me, but I hear from other founders, is VC funding and investment is a real challenge in the Canadian ecosystem. We need more of it. Technology is considered a high-risk industry. There's been a lot of companies that have not made it, and therefore there's a little bit of maybe an aversion from investors, from talent, to actually join a startup.
The talent in Canada is excellent. There's no one better than us here in Canada, and we're working on a lot of interesting problems. So it's really the people that grow the ecosystem. The biggest barrier for entrepreneurs today is really mentorship, access to larger sources of funding, and access to the world market. Most of our customers personally are outside of Canada, and getting access to those people to bigger problems to solve is really important to grow your business.
So what I think has helped grow Canada's tech sector is the public financing. There's amazing funding programs, there's amazing tax credits, there's a lot of great incentives to have tech sustained up here. So in terms of what I'd like to see in Canada's tech ecosystems, more collaboration, more ways for us to kind of meet. And then obviously, finding other financing and always that is always really helpful.